Brewing Inc. is now syndicated on SeriousWriter.com. See them at SeriousWriter.com for resources, articles, videos, topical classes, and now a podcast, the Brewing Inc. Podcast, because we're syndicated on SeriousWriter.com.
Welcome back to another Interbrew episode.
Welcome back.
Oh, yeah. These are some of my favorite. I love
really
just
are.
Going off the rails, talking about things we like to watch, people we like to talk to, talking about writing, learning about writing processes.
Yeah.
But today is going to be another Interbrew review. We are going to talk about...
Spoiler-filled, by the way.
Spoiler-filled every time. So
we just want to warn people before you get into it.
What we're going to talk about. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to turn it off or pause.
Go watch The Mandalorian.
Yes,
that's what we're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about The Mandalorian, Disney Plus.
First 2 episodes only, though.
Yes, because they were releasing them one episode at a time. I don't know when, because they had episode 1 when they started, and then 3 days later they had the second episode. So, yes, first 2 episodes. That's what's out right now for us. But who knows, by the time you get to this...
There will be more episodes out, yes. But I think we'll try to do a couple at a time.
Yes. So...
let's get started.
That was your chance to turn off your phone.
That was it.
Or
that was it.
Your podcast.
That awkward pause.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we're drinking out of our Star Wars cups.
Your Star Wars cups.
My Star Wars cups, yes. To get into the mood.
So, first of all, Disney Plus, we both have it.
Yes.
Both got it almost right away.
'Cause why not?
And for me, Disney Plus, at first, I was a little skeptical whether it was going to work.
Right.
Whether it was going to be worth it.
Me too.
Because a lot of the movies that I would want to watch, I already own.
Yeah. I have most of the Pixar stuff.
And for me, I'm old, as I've said many times. And when I was younger, I watched a lot of Disney movies.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about Cinderella, like the big ones. I mean, I watched a lot of Disney movies. All the obscure ones, I saw a lot of them. And so for me, the first list that they had that came out, they didn't have a lot of that stuff on there. The Love Bug and The Cat from Outer Space, which if you haven't seen... watch it. There's a whole lot of older movies, and they haven't put them all on there.
Nope.
But at first, they hardly had any of them. And I was like, well, I'm going to want to see, the live action stuff for Star Wars. And so I was considering it.
And the stuff that they got coming out for Marvel original
Marvel
content.
With the Winter Soldier, I think, and Falcon or something.
Yeah, Captain Falcon. They've got Doctor Strange stuff.
Oh, they got a Doctor Strange thing coming out too?
Vision, Wanda.
WandaVision. Wanda and Vision. And they're going to have an Obi-Wan.
A Loki. He's going to have his own.
So they're going to have a lot of cool original content. So that's why I was considering it. But, we were kind of in that financial place of we already have 2 or 3 streaming things. We really need another one. And then I saw a list the week before it came out. And this one had a lot of stuff on it. A lot of the old classic things. And that to me was the kicker. That's what put it over the top for me. Because I'm like, look, there's so much content. No one's buying these DVDs anymore. No one's buying these videos. But there was so much good stuff.
Yeah.
And you just got to put that stuff on there because that's endless entertainment.
Yeah.
And again, maybe not all at once because, maybe you just put some of it out at you as you go. But so that was a kicker for me. I was in.
What was the first thing you put on? What was the first thing you watched on Disney Plus?
The Mandalorian.
All that.
It was The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So the Mandalorian was the first thing.
I got it first thing in the morning when I woke up, before family was awake and everything. And I was like, what can I put on that would be classic Disney, but it would also be, very relaxing music that's not going to disturb anybody. When they wake up in the morning, it'll be pleasant to watch. So the first thing I put on was Fantasia.
I was about to say, was it Fantasia?
Fantasia. And I forgot, how... Lost,
beautiful.
you can get into it.
So beautiful.
The animation was great. The music, I mean, it's just like classic music going on. Such a great movie, and it's something I never really owned. I'd seen before, but I never owned it, and it's not something I had watched within the last 2 decades, probably.
Yeah. We had the VHS when I was a kid.
Exactly. VHS.
That's how old I am.
Yep. So I was super stoked about Disney Plus just because I had been watching all this stuff or what's going to be coming out.
Yeah.
So when I told my wife about it, she was somewhat had an underwhelmed reaction.
Oh, really? Yeah.
To
my wife too.
I said you don't seem to be as excited as I am about this. And then she found out that they had every Disney original movie from the Disney Channel that she grew up watching as a child.
Oh, Hosanna. My daughter Hosanna, the same way. She is stoked.
And she was like, I don't want to share this. I want our own. Because we were like, I was talking with some family members, like, hey, do we want to, like, you can watch four different, TVs at once sort of thing. She's like, no, I want our own. And let's do the sign up for the year and all this. And we watched like Johnny Tsunami and a couple of different random ones already. It's great. And then there are some tricky things though.
Yeah.
Like I found The Mighty Ducks, right? Great movie. Hockey, loved it.
But
it's not coming out till 2020?
Yes.
Next year?
Yes.
So there are some titles that look like they're available.
Yes.
But aren't quite accessible yet. They're teasers at this point.
For me, it was Mr. Holland's Opus.
Oh, such a good movie.
What a great movie. And I'm like, oh my God, Mr. Holland's Opus is on here? And I went to click and it went, not yet.
Available yet.
And I went, what the heck?
And then the other big trickery... Not trickery, but the other caveat. Trixie, yes. And I kind of knew it, that it wasn't going to be Netflix. But, as we've discussed, The Mandalorian is not a binge.
It's not they're not bingeable.
They're not bingeable series. The original contents are coming out as one episode at a time.
At first, I was surprised.
Yeah.
But when I thought about it, I went, that's actually smart.
Right.
I actually think it's going to serve them better. Yeah. Because think about how Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead back when it was good.
Right.
Like how some of these shows pulled people in.
Yeah, for years.
And they had time to talk about it between episodes.
Yes.
Instead of like, oh, Stranger Things is out. Have you seen the whole thing?
Right.
And
and
now you
talk
can't
about
talk
how
about
fast they watched it.
And all that stuff. So I think...
And so then the hype lasts for about a week.
Yes.
But Disney, we all know, operates on a level far superior than everyone else, which is why they own all of our childhoods.
Yes.
And our adulthoods now.
Well, and here's where I thought it was genius on their part. And we'll kind of get into The Mandalorian here real quick. But... Netflix is in trouble at this point.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because Netflix has to pay for everything that's on Netflix.
Right.
In other words, whether they're making original content or they're getting other content, movies or TV shows from somewhere else, NBC, CBS, whatever, wherever they're getting.
Did you see what they've done as a sort of response to Disney? The same week that Disney Plus came out, Netflix put on a lot of Nickelodeon shows.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Well, but they had to pay for all of that. They had to pay for the rights to something. Now, I don't know how much that costs, but it costs something.
Yeah.
And
whereas Disney
already
has the content.
They have the content.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about Netflix is when they make something, when they do have original content, 60-70% of the time, it's not very good. Because what Netflix does is they throw money at somebody.
Bang it out quick.
And they say, go make something. Because they're not a studio.
Right.
Netflix doesn't, I mean, maybe they have their own quote-unquote studio now. But what they do is they get money and they give somebody, and they go make a low-budget thing.
Yeah.
And if it's not a good script, or if they don't get the right actors, or the right, like some of their stuff is really oddly like edited and stuff because it's kind of pumped out, you know? And they're pumping out so much original content, and people are skeptical about whether or not the new content is going to be good, right?
If you see over there, I've got a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different Netflix originals that have been... I got this list from a YouTube video that said these are all worth watching.
These are all worth, right?
And I've watched maybe about 4 or 5 of them now at this point. Because even the ones that are like, hey, you should watch this, they still lack a good ending or something. Character. Yeah.
And so here's what Disney has going for them. All the older content.
Yeah.
They've already made their money off of it.
Yeah.
They've already made their money off the Marvel movies, off of all the Star Wars movies, all the stuff that's already made.
All the vaulted animated.
All the vaulted stuff. They've already made tons of money from that stuff. Yeah. And so they can offer it at a cheaper price. They really can, and still have the money to put into some original content. But here's the kicker about their original content. Disney is a great studio already.
Yeah.
So they know how to make a good movie. They know how to write good stories. They know how to put out stuff that is at least really good.
Yeah.
And so I think
not
it's
only
genius.
not only are they a studio, but they also bought out studios that were producing well-made content.
Exactly. And that stuff they just have rights to.
Yeah.
So now they can put that stuff on there if they want.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think it's a great thing.
Speaking of budget and what Disney can do, let's jump into The Mandalorian.
Let's do it.
I heard, and maybe we need to do some type research, but from what I've heard, The Mandalorian has a budget of about $25 million per episode.
Really?
Yes.
That high?
Yeah, so maybe we should look that up because, like I said, that is hearsay. For someone else told me that.
It would be hard for me to believe that.
Right? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I overstated it a little bit. It's $15 million per episode. The Mandalorian boasts a similar budget, reportedly costing $15 million per episode.
How much?
$15 million.
$15 million per
episode. Which is why it's going to look like a Star Wars film and movie. It's going to have that feel because it's got the budget of a high. Well, higher than a small budget movie, or about the price of a small budget movie, but higher than just a regular TV show.
That's amazing. Per episode?
Per episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's definitely high quality. Yeah. Jon Favreau, who I love.
Yes.
I have a lot of respect for him.
He kicked off the whole Marvel franchise. Like he was the brain behind doing Iron Man and getting all this stuff together.
That's right. And so I've really enjoyed it. So let's just get into it. So it kind of kicks off. The Mandalorian walks into this cantina. Mm-hmm. It's such a Western.
Yes.
Like set in space.
Yes.
It's such a Western set in space, which we already had with Han Solo and some of the gangster stuff, some of that Western motif with Tatooine and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really focused on it. They took the Mandalorian and kind of culture and those characters and some of that mythos that's in the Star Wars universe, although they don't go into it in the movies, but it's in the universe. So anyway, he's the Mandalorian, nameless, which is a throwback to The Man with No Name, the Clint Eastwood movies.
Oh, okay.
The fact that they're not giving the Mandalorian a name is a throwback to like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and all and those spaghetti westerns.
Yes.
So it's it's thought out. It's not just they're not just putting this out to make money.
Right.
It's well thought out. And so he goes in the first episode. He's in the cantina and he just boom, starts kicking butt.
Right.
And gets this guy his bounty. He's a bounty hunter, right? The Mandalorian's a bounty hunter. And I think it's interesting. He brings him back. He freezes him. That was cool.
And the carbonite, you see a whole collection of people frozen in carbonite on his ship. And you're like, oh wow, okay. And look, well, let's bring in the setting. Where are we within the story realm? of the Star Wars series. So we're after the Empire has fallen, but we're before The Force Awakens with the New Republic and all that. So it's after Boba Fett has done these sort of similar things, so we can see how this Mandalorian has kind of progressed on some of those tropes that we've seen a Mandalorian using before in the previous series. So that's where we are time-wise, is in between kind of that original 6 movies and then the newer 3 that, the third that's about to come out.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And then it was cool that he had the freezing thing right there, which harkens back to Boba Fett, obviously, in the Empire Strikes Back, which I thought was a little. They didn't explain it, or they haven't yet. Like, how does he have this technology on a ship?
Right.
That in Empire Strikes Back, you had to have this whole big facility for. Right. So, the science fiction guy in me.
Technology, I guess, has progressed.
Maybe it's progressed.
That was my thought, too. I was like, wait, did Boba Fett have this on his ship? I was like, maybe he did. Maybe I just never realized that.
Right, or maybe not. But, so, his ship is cool. Like, it's got the cool science fiction stuff, where he's got the cool weapon.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they're bringing in some of these other characters, like creatures, like the Ugnaught that he finally gets to. Oh, but before we get there, he gets to the planet and gets the money from the guy who is Apollo Creed.
Oh, yes.
Carl Weathers. Carl Weathers, who so funny, and he does such a great job. He wasn't trying to be funny in this one, but he does such a great job. So he's the little guy who's giving him the contracts or whatever. Yeah. And he says, "Well, there's a big one."
Yeah. I don't have a token for it.
Yeah. And so there's something going on with this new character who he's getting this job from, who's somehow with the Empire or some holdover from the Empire.
Yeah.
They got some stormtroopers, but their armor is kind of worn.
Right, it's outdated. And
so this is supposed to happen right after Return of the Jedi, or soon after Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
So the Empire's done.
Yep.
And which kind of goes into that lawless Western feel, right?
Yeah.
The Empire's gone.
Who's in charge?
What's going on? Imperial credits don't work anymore.
Right.
What money are we going to use? So they had some of those really cool elements to it, and then I thought it was going to be more of a major character because of some of the photos.
Yeah.
But he gets to the planet.
Yep.
And
he's given the new bounty.
He's given the new bounty.
You're not the only one that's going to be after this.
Yeah, you're not the only one that's going to be after it. 50 years old.
Yeah.
What does it look like? Well, you'll see when you get there, kind of thing. Obviously a little foreshadowing. A little bit of a setup. And so he goes and he meets the Ugnaught, which we only saw as these minor characters in Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
But now it's Nick Nolte who's doing such a great job with it.
That's who he was, yeah.
It's Nick Nolte playing the Ugnaught. Yeah. But he's, shorter and smaller. And, he's got a good character and we like him. We don't really know all this going on. He kind of helps. He's the helper and goes to this installation where they're holding this person he's supposed to get.
Yeah.
And he runs into an IG droid.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Right. And we've all wanted to see an IG droid. And like anyone that's read the Han Solo books or any of the other Star Wars bounty hunter books knows that there's this droid, that's an IG droid that's known for being a ruthless bounty hunter. That's what it's built for. And so now we get to see it. Now we get to see a real one in action. Yeah, right?
Although it's not IG-88.
Nope, it's
which
IG-11.
IG-11, which I had IG-88.
Yeah,
as the little toy.
Yep.
Anyway, and that's a great character. And I thought it was going to be a bigger character. That's what I was saying before.
Yeah,
because he's in the pictures. He's in like some of the promo material.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, well, this is like he's going to be his
like
friend,
his buddy, yeah.
And he doesn't like, the Mandalorian doesn't like droids,
yeah.
And so like they're going to have to team them up, and that's natural conflict, and that's cool. And then they show finally, because they kill everybody in this installation.
So before we jump to that, there was that running gag while they were surrounded by everyone, where the IG droid would open up his chest and there was a thermal detonator, and he's like, I will initiate self-destruct sequence.
Initiating self-destruct.
Whoa, what are you doing? I think you're overreacting here. Like, let's not do that. But I thought it was going to be like an actual plot development gag.
Yes.
Where he was going to do it one of those times, and then the Mandalorian was just going to grab that thermal detonator and chuck it at the group of people that were shooting at him.
That would have been cool.
But not everyone is as great as writers as we are.
That's true. That's true. They should obviously listen to our podcast more.
Yeah. But still great. It was
great.
Funny, and they brought in thermal detonators, which we all recognize from Return of the Jedi. But in the end, they kill everyone, and they find their mark.
And by the way, the action scene was so Western.
Yes.
It was such a Western action scene with laser guns. I mean, they got the guys up high, and they're falling down.
And then they bring out the big Gatling gun weapon. Straight Western feel.
It's straight Western stuff. But they're pulling it into and that's what it makes it fresh, because they're pulling it now into the science fiction.
Yes.
And it makes it interesting. It makes it unique. So they finally go in and kill a couple more people and find the Mark.
The Mark, who is 50 years old, but is, as everyone has lovingly named this character, it's Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. So
it's not actually Yoda, as far as we know, but it's a baby version, a young version of that
species or whatever.
Character, which we don't know a lot about.
Yeah.
It's from the whole series. Like all the Star Wars movies, no one ever really explains what Yoda is. Are there more of him? The idea is we get to now have more development of that
of whatever that species is,
or
whatever that is.
Maybe because they don't have to bring this baby back alive.
Right.
There's right. All they have to do is just take it out and kill it.
Which was what IG-11 does at the end. He's like, "Look, I'm just going to kill it."
Yeah. And because of that,
the Mandalorian shoots him. Which it was cool. It was a cool twist, because I was expecting like, no, don't shoot him. Stop it. Let's bring him back. Like, because he was kind of trying to dialogue with the droid before about self-destruct.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, he's going to do that. Whatever, but no.
Nope.
He just
takes
shoots IG-11, which is awesome. It was awesome.
Yep.
And so that was the end of the first episode.
Yes.
So now he's got this Baby Yoda, episode 2, which I thought was a little shorter than it was.
That first one was like an hour long. It felt like,
And the second one ended. I was like,
it was like 38 minutes or something. Yeah.
It's like that was like 28 minutes. It was like less than 30 minutes.
But let's just talk about all the things I loved about episode 2.
Okay.
Because they set up this direction for this series. Now you're like, okay, I see what we're doing now. Now we're doing like the reluctant hero, where he's been put into the situation to be in charge of something that he never really wanted to be in charge of. And we see how it's kind of like he's obviously not understanding the capability of this creature that he has with him, as it gets out of his little egg incubator thing. It's a little floating incubator egg thing that follows him around everywhere.
Yeah.
But like he gets out of it a couple times to try and heal the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian doesn't know. Like he's like, get back in and he picks him up. But very, very parental child, toddler type moment. But we as the viewers know, like, there's more to this creature than he knows, and that it's letting on at this point. But what I really love is the yes, but that was in there. Yes, you saved this creature, but now you got to get off the planet. And you can't do that when your ship has been ransacked by Jawas.
Jawas.
Because
here come the Jawas.
Yes, the Jawas were brought back in, and I love it. It makes sense within the setting. It makes sense as into, like, the setback. Like, it was such a great...
It was such a great tie-in and throwback
yes.
and exploration, because it had the same big, like, tank thing.
Yeah.
You know, the transport
yes.
that was in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And the
you
fact
see more inside of it, and you see the Jawas interacting again.
The fact that he pulls out the rifle.
Yeah. Yes.
And starts disintegrating
yes.
Jawas.
Yes.
Was awesome.
You're like, whoa!
Number one. No, and the reason why that was cool, when I said it, Micah didn't get it until I said it.
Uh-huh.
It was when Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back, when Darth Vader turns to him and says, "Remember, no disintegration."
Yeah, no disintegration.
Right? When he's like giving him the job of finding Han Solo and stuff, he says, "Remember, no disintegrations." Like, this is obviously something that Mandalorians
are known for. Yes.
And so here he just like, that's it, screw it, and he just starts. Boom, boom, boom.
Y'all jacked up my ship, and you got my pieces.
And so then he tries to run after him, and that doesn't work. And the Ugnaught guy has to try to help him.
Yeah.
Again. And so he has to make a deal with the Jawas, which he doesn't want to do. Again, it's a great story. Like, make your character do something they don't want to do.
Right.
Right. And, you know, he's got to go get this egg from this creature. It's just a weird kind of scene, but it was awesome.
Right. It led to an obstacle that he had to overcome that was above what he was really prepared for.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's geared up. He's got, you know, his flamethrower and he's got his blaster and things like that, but he's still kind of out of his element.
Yeah.
Going against this thing, because he just goes into the cave not knowing
what's in there.
And then, of course, you get that cut, which to me felt very Monty Python and Holy Grail, like just running out of the dark cave, and then he's being chased by the giant monster. And so, the action scene
was
ensues.
Great. Well, and it is very Star Wars to have a big monster.
Right.
Like, that's a very Star Wars thing. Whether it's the Wampa, or the what's the thing in the Return of the Jedi moments?
The Rancor.
The Rancor
monster that they was under there.
Well, there was a Sarlacc that they were going to throw him into, but then there was they love to do the big creatures,
right?
At least Lucas did, and so it's kind of a throwback to that. But it was all a setup, and they set it up really well. Because here's another part of it from Episode 1, and now with Episode 2. There were save the cat moments. Now, if you don't know what save the cat moment is, a save the cat moment is a moment where an otherwise unlikable character. Because the whole point of writing a story is you're trying to take a character on a journey, and they can't start perfect. They can't start a good person.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Or they can, but you have to like do, grief or something. But, if you have an unlikable character, the trick is to give them a save the cat moment. And a save the cat moment is saving the cat out of a tree. Right? Like, have them do something that shows that there is some good in them. Right? And so him shooting IG-11, the reason why that was brilliant is because it shows he's not just about money. He's not just about getting more armor or more wealth.
He has some sort of moral code.
There's something
moral
in there.
Compass, at least. Yeah.
There's some moral compass in there, and it shows back up again in this fight with this creature from the cave, because the creature starts going after Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to, save it and get there, but he's losing.
Yeah. He's trying to get the big creature's attention at the risk of his own life.
Yeah. And so, obviously, the big reveal is when the creature is about to just kill him, Baby Yoda uses the Force
powers.
Right? Which we all knew was probably going to happen.
But we were like, how much control did he have it at this point?
So this baby is like so powerful in the Force, right?
Yeah.
Can lift up this creature, blah 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 blah, but it exhausts Baby Yoda. Well, they get the egg.
Yeah.
Right, so
the thing passes out for
he's so exhausted,
like a couple days,
and now episode 2 pretty much ends with him getting off the planet. He gets the pieces of his ship back.
Yeah.
He and the Ugnaught, and which is great because the Ugnaughts were obviously mechanical,
right?
Or
mechanically inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they were on the Cloud City and the whole thing and that little facility. So it's just good writing. It's just a good TV show.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like the best movie you've ever seen. It's supposed to be entertaining, and it's for Star Wars fans.
Yep.
But I think even non-Star Wars fans have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They've been into it. They've been watching it. It's quality, stuff. And like I said, it's something that Netflix has a really hard time doing.
Yeah.
Is just making something that's really good, moves well. There's some pacing in Mandalorian that's a little slow.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier.
But it's very reflective of the first couple Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's got the long, establishing shots.
Yeah.
And it's got the music that swells and kind of builds, and it brings you into the universe. And it paces you for the style of storytelling that they're going to use. It's not your present day action film. You're not going to get a lot of close up, camera shake, heart pounding, like fight scene, action. Like it's got some poignant dialogue, and it's got like the growth and development. Like he has to learn how to ride the creatures or whatever, and you're getting little ebbs and flow between dialogue and a little action, and then some character progression, and maybe some more action. But yeah, I like the pacing. I like the feel that they've got going for it. And definitely it's the most Western Star Wars.
Oh, sure.
That they've ever done, and I feel like they've nailed that feeling.
They've nailed it.
Yeah.
There were a couple times the effects looked a little weird. You said had high budget for a TV show, definitely.
Yeah.
But overall, the effects look amazing.
Yeah.
And just again, great writing. It's well put together. Great little twists and turns. Great throwbacks. Great Easter eggs. Just all that stuff that they're putting in there. They just took their time with it, and they did a good job. And so I'm in.
And they did a great job casting. They had the
great job casting.
Yeah.
The guy who gives the Mandalorian, I almost called him Boba Fett. Yeah. The guy who gives the Mandalorian the job is kind of creepy. Like you don't really trust him. You're obviously not supposed to.
Yeah.
And so who knows what's going on? Like that's the setup, right? Why is this guy trying to kill Baby Yoda? Like why does he want Baby Yoda?
Sidebar: that guy's voice was what was in my head when I was writing for our episode 11 for the Bishop Walef character. That and Dumbledore. Those are the two voices I had in my head.
Well, those are the first 2 episodes, folks. Anything else before we kind of sign off on this? We don't want to spend two hours talking about it. Because we're going to do more on The Mandalorian.
Yeah, we're going to keep this going kind of as the episodes come out. We'll probably do 2 or 3 episodes at a time when we review them. Until next time.
Yeah.
Trust the Force. Let go of your feelings.
Yeah.
And raise a glass to inspiration.
That's right. One more time.
And stay inspired, guys.
Stay inspired.